As you know, I'm Kinsley Sanders, and to jump in, why is the military struggling? Well, they're underpaid and they're also unqualified. How are possible recruits unqualified? They're too young, overweight, not healthy, not educated. But the main problem is they're underpaid. This can change our future. It can cause violent disagreements, and we'll be left with no defense if we really need it. Why do you think the military retention is so low nowadays?
I think that as a soldier, you go through things that normal civilians do not go through. Part of that being away from family for long periods of time, whether it's for training or being overseas.
So, say if you were to look back, what do you think the military could have improved in?
I think being in the reserves, the premise of being in the reserves is that you're supposed to train 2 days a week and 2 weeks a year. And it used to be that way in the past. But nowadays, there are many trainings that are 4 or 5 day trainings. And when we go to our annual training once a year, that is typically 2 weeks, but now a lot of times it can be 3 up to 4 weeks. So I'd like to see the reserve components go back to more of that traditional 2 days a month during the weekend and 2 weeks a year.
Why did you join the military?
I always had interest in joining the military, but at 18, coming out of high school, I thought committing 4 years of my life was a big commitment, so I never did. And during 2017, Hurricane Irma hit the state of Florida, and I remember sitting in the house listening to Governor Rick Scott talking about that he was going to be activating the reserves for hurricane effort reliefs. And that was something that really interested me. I wanted to get back to those in need. So I contacted a recruiter a week later and enrolled and enlisted in the Army Reserves. So really just a need to give back to my community and give back to the United States of America and serve my country.
Who could have a similar opinion? Alrighty, so how bad was the pay struggle when you served?
How bad was the pay struggle? Well, I don't know that I ever really thought about what it paid. And if I had, if that was important to me, I probably never would have gone in the military. When I first went in to the military, I enlisted in 1983. And as an E1 going to boot camp, we made about $571 a month. That was for the whole month. We got paid twice a month. And by the time I left the Marine Corps, about 12 years later, I was making probably around $1,400